everything we learned in school. Still we're trying to break every single rule. Well, little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man. Can ever find a job that won't interfere with routine. I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels as we go on.
please stay standing for the singing of our national anthem performed by Monomoy Regional High School Select Choir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Katie Barr.
And I'm Molly Doncaster, and we are the co-presidents of the senior class.
We are privileged and honored to welcome you to the graduation for the class of 2016, the second ever graduating class of Monomoy Regional High School.
And we're the first class to have it out on the front lawn here. All right, to get this thing going, we'd like to welcome our principal, Mr. Bill Burkhead.
Superintendent Carpenter, school committee members, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, parents, family members, friends, and most especially our very special graduating class of 2016, welcome. I don't want to take credit for the weather today, but I will. Did promise the graduates about a month ago it would be a beautiful day. Actually, it's nice and breezy and cool and not too hot, and there's no rain. Today's commencement exercise is the first ever, as the young ladies have mentioned, on the high school grounds. It took an amazing amount of effort to prepare. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge a few individuals that made all this happen. I want to thank Agway of Chatham for donating the beautiful flowers you see out front here, to Cape Cod Disposal for donating portable bathrooms. Had trouble with an adjective there. And to Mr. Ed McManus for always helping out and setting up for today's event. I'd like to thank our students for their attention to detail in our planning. Our senior class advisors, Ms. Wheaton and Mr. Moyner, for organizing with our seniors an unforgettable senior week experience. Mr. Rollamo and Mr. Martin, my assistant principals, for their tireless hours spent going above and beyond. Our custodial team, led by lead custodian Mr. Cliff Steinruck and our new facilities director, Mr. Rick Travers, for the pride they took in the preparation of this event. Ms. Rose Richards and Ms. Kozlowski preparing and leading our chorus and band today. Our outstanding teachers, teaching assistants, faculty, and staff for attending this special event and all of their support in helping our seniors cross the finish line today. Our junior class volunteers, Alec Pavlakis, Jack Watson, Josh Goodrich, and Ben Doobie, Mr. Stephen Cass and his team for live streaming today's event, a first ever here at Monomoy. A special thank you to our wonderful local community groups, who on Thursday evening provided our seniors with close to $350,000 in scholarships at our first ever convocation. Last but certainly not least, some of our unsung heroes, our administrative assistants, Ms. Farrow, Ms. Thing, Ms. Hooper, and Ms. Kelly, for their insistence on providing the most amazing experience for our students, often spending several hours of their own time to do so. Could Ms. Hooper, could Janet, Holly, Katie, and Claire please come up? I have a small gift that I'd like to present you all. Quick side story on that. Those flowers I bought yesterday and thought I was doing the right thing and getting ahead of time and picking out really nice flowers for these ladies have done so much. The problem is I left them in the back seat of my truck. My wife asked me, where are those flowers? I said, they're in my truck. They're all set for tomorrow. We're good. No, we're not. So she cleaned out the whole fridge, made room for them, put them in there, and saved their lives. So. So a friend recently told me of a game he played at a family gathering, and he found it pretty profound. He shared it with me. You go around the room and you share one word about the person in the family that happens to be sitting to your right. Now, the most difficult part of this game is coming up with just one word of possibly several hundred you could come up with for a family member and showing your love. According to my friend, this was the beauty of the game. You had to think extremely hard to make that one word powerful and meaningful. After each person had their turn, they were able to explain why they chose that particular word, followed by an in-depth conversations that resulted in bringing the family closer together. It made me think about our class of 2016. I often speak to our students in our school about being a family, focusing on healthy and caring relationships. What one word could I use to describe the class of 2016? Before we get there, let's start with a story. As a young head football coach, I had the pleasure of having several volunteer coaches, all of who put in hundreds of hours without pay. They simply did it because they loved the kids, the game, and our school. They had pride. One volunteer coach, Darren, had significant intellectual disabilities, but committed no less time and loved the game no less and loved the players no less than all the other coaches. One day, a Friday, it was our first game of the year. I was on my way to school at 6 a.m. and drove by Darren, who was pushing a shopping cart down the street, half full with redeemable bottles and cans. I beeped the horn and smiled, saying to myself, I love that guy, getting up bright and early, making some money, and keeping our town clean. Later that day, I spotted Darren again, pushing now a full cart with several full bags on either side of the cart, all full, as he climbed the adjacent hill to our school. He was drenched with sweat. It must have been at least 80 degrees on that September afternoon. But he was on the way to the local market, which was at the top of the hill, to redeem the bottles. Later that day, we boarded the bus to travel to our game. Outside the bus, I noticed Darren, again with the shopping cart filled to the top. But this time it wasn't filled with empty bottles. It was filled with full bottles of Gatorade, ice cold. And he's handing one to each player on their way on the bus. And he was smiling ear to ear. So were the players. He had spent the entire day collecting bottles and cans in the heat, only to redeem them so he could purchase drinks for our players. He didn't tell anyone he did this. He didn't want any credit. He just wanted to make sure our players were hydrated for the game. To me, this was one of the most selfless, powerful acts of kindness I had ever seen. It was beautiful. Darren is a beautiful person with a beautiful mind and heart. This story of kindness and selflessness reminded me of the class of 2016. The one word I would use to describe them is beautiful, of beautiful minds and hearts. The senior class sets the tone for the entire school. When you enter our school, you feel the warmth, safety, and energy reflected in how our seniors treat each other, our faculty and staff, and especially the underclassmen. As principal, I am fortunate to hear quite regularly from guests, community members, and from groups our students visit through field trips and other outings, how well behaved, polite, caring, compassionate, and wonderful our students are, especially our seniors. To some, a culture of love in school is not possible. I challenge those folks to visit our school. The list of accomplishments, volunteerism, outreach, and goodwill attributed to the class of 2016 could fill a book. One someday a student sitting next to me on either side might write. I will, however, end with another quick story. You can tell I love stories. I will, however, end with this story exemplifying how beautiful of mind and heart our senior class truly is. We have a Monomoy tradition, inviting senior citizens to our school for a Thanksgiving feast, sharing good food, music, and company. Hundreds of local seniors fill our cafeterias with smiles, laughter, and pure enjoyment. It would melt your heart. One particular senior shared with me that this was her second year in a row coming. She shared with me that she had no living family and that this was the kindest thing anyone had done for her in many years. Our students, many in the seats here today, our senior class, served her food, sang for her, gave her a tour of our building, and treated her, in her words, like a queen. It reminded her of past Thanksgiving dinners with her family, and this made her feel happy and loved. These are the types of things that happen every day in our school and don't always have to do with reading, writing, and arithmetic. These are the traditions and culture our beautiful senior class has established and will be their legacy at Monomoy Regional High School. Class of 2016, good luck and be great.
The Reflection Awards are presented to our former teachers who have made a difference in our lives. The first award is being presented by Charles Kiernan.
Down here. When I think back to my time at Chatham Elementary School, there's one teacher who is present in all of my favorite memories. As a second grade teacher, a librarian, and as the producer for our musical, Assignment Earth, Sherry Armstrong was universally loved by all the students. She made each and every one of us feel special and unique. She was always very upbeat and energetic, and a supportive, positive influence on those around her. She's a teacher who made a lasting impression on people by virtue of her extreme dedication. Even after we had left elementary school, Sherry continued to have great influence on our class by establishing a 3-day writing seminar at the Cape Cod Sea Camps. This became an annual event that we looked forward to each year. In fact, when I opened my senior year time capsule, I found packed away all of my favorite mementos from middle school. Among them, a group picture from that camp was taken with Mrs. Armstrong when I was in 8th grade. It is truly extraordinary for a teacher to have such a profound impact on her students, and for that, the class of 2016 is forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this award. It's been such an honor for me to work at Chatham Elementary School and now at Monomoy Middle School. And I just so appreciate it. I can't imagine an award better than getting it from my students. Thank you.
Mr. Wrestler single-handedly set creative platforms that all Harwich Elementary School alums stand securely on today. Not only did Mr. Wrestler handle the challenging task of listening to 20-plus third graders struggle to play hot cross buns on the recorder at the same time, but he consistently encouraged each and every one of us to explore our creativity and musical passion. During special, we could always rely on our new charismatic music teacher to be standing in the front of the class, bobbing his head, playing his guitar, and mouthing the words to songs we clearly couldn't remember. His musicianship and positive attitude is infectious to this day, and he can even get the shyest of kids to break out of their shell. Whether we turned out to be musicians, actors, athletes, or just hard workers, I think it's safe to say that we can all accredit a piece of our success to Mr. Wrestler.
This piece was kindly written by Victoria Bissett, a member of Mrs. Barnes' 7th and 8th grade class. Unfortunately, I didn't know Rachel Barnes as well as she does, so she was kind enough to write this for me. Mrs. Barnes is a humanities teacher at Chatham Middle School. She makes many students excited to come to school each day. She mixes fun into her teachings, keeping students engaged and ready to learn, especially with her highly coveted Friday fun games that our class very much enjoyed. She always makes sure to give each student a chance to do their very best in whatever they are trying to achieve. In addition to all of this, Mrs. Barnes is a nice person. She reaches out to those who need it, making each and every person feel welcomed and full of potential. She spreads positivity and support to the school by being an active part of the community, and is especially great with the handbell choir that she coaches. To put it simply, Mrs. Barnes is a model example of a teacher that everybody will hate to leave, but they will always remember. Thank you, Mrs. Barnes, for the impact that you had on our lives.
So Mrs. Fabio was probably the coolest teacher ever. I remember being absolutely devastated when I found out that Mrs. Fabio was moving from 7th grade to 8th grade because it meant yet another year without her as a teacher. Many of us had been anxiously waiting for the opportunity since working under her lead on Beauty and the Beast. This was the first real school show for many of us who have now performed on the high school stage. She helped lead Hannah and Miranda as the sausage girl and egg girl long before they would leave audiences in awe. She was the first person to let me use my big voice. The experience she gave us in Beauty and the Beast is what made our first year of middle school so special. Finally getting to be in her classroom was nothing short of what we expected. She taught us so much more than just English. We learned to make cards and had amazing discussions. She could spot someone chewing gum from miles away and has always remained available for a hug or a smile. The most important thing, however, about Mrs. Fabio was that we always knew she loved us just as much as she loved Tinkerbell.
I'm going to keep it very short, which you know that's really hard for me. I have two things to say. First of all, thank you so very much. This is the greatest honor any teacher could get. Thank you for that. Secondly, the movie The Giver finally came out. We waited and waited and waited, and I just want to say one line from that movie. In that movie, Lois Lowry, in that book rather, Lois Lowry, in The Giver, said, "Thank you for your childhood. Thank you for your childhood." All of you.
The class of 2016 would like to reflect upon Angelina Chalaka, who is a bright, cheerful person and always walks the hallways with a smile. She always made sure that we were steering clear of danger by sticking with cookies, milk, and Kool-Aid. And always told us to know where the exits are as soon as you enter a room. And just so everyone knows, Ms. Chalaka made tremendous efforts to get everyone involved and amped school spirit to incredible heights. She was the backbone of peer leads and the lock-ins that sparked a leadership quality in all of us. The class of 2016 would also like to reflect upon her attendance to every one of our events. You could count on her to be front row cheering everyone on and be the first to congratulate us on it in school the next morning. In our years at Monomoy Regional High School, she exemplified school spirit, a positive attitude, and a beautiful heart. Thank you so much for the continuous support on everything we do. High school would not have been the same without Mrs. Chalaka.
I don't know what to say, but I really wanted to thank all of these children. You made my life, you really did. And thank you to all the parents who shared you with us. Thank you.
Our class salutatorian, Crystal Siegel, will now make her address.
All right. I'm sorry. Good afternoon and welcome to teachers, administrators, parents, family members, friends, and of course, graduates. Thank you for joining us on this momentous day to celebrate the numerous accomplishments of the class of 2016. First off, I must commend the class of 2016 for all that we've accomplished outside of GPAs, certificates, and trophies. In one 4-year stretch, we've had 3 schedules, 2 schools, and the addition of many new classmates to our grade. Rather than resist these new circumstances that were thrust upon us, we accepted them and have grown extraordinarily as people as a result. In this way, Monomoy has not only prepared us to write a term paper or manage a college course load, but to be adaptable, something that is far more practical but not often taught in high school. In a short time, we will all be stepping off of the congested highway of secondary school education and onto our own individual pathways towards success. For we will all be successful in our own right, even if one person's success is not the same as another's. In fact, that is preferable, because if everybody was a well-renowned doctor, then we would have no teachers, artists, businessmen, politicians, inventors, and musicians, and all other professions that are vital to our country and to our world. Society has certain ideals about success, but it is our job to develop and strive after our own passions, because individuals create society, and society has no place in dictating the lives of individuals. As hard as it may seem right now, we are all moving forward. It's futile to grip too tightly to the things, places, and people of our past, for as much as we would like to deny it, they are pressing onwards as well. Nothing can ever be the same way that it was, for we will never be the same people that we are in this very moment. We can remember our time here fondly. We can reminisce about the cockroaches in the Harwich High School band room with laughter, but we can never relive these moments, nor should we. When we put too much focus on what was, we risk missing out on what is. When we spend our entire lives looking backwards, we risk stumbling on obstacles that intend to hinder our progress forwards. It is a fact that life is not easy, and our pathways will be filled with thorns, boulders, and rough terrain, because the only painless path is the one that has already been worn down. However, I have full confidence that each and every one of you sitting under this tent today will overcome your trials and achieve your goals, dreams, and ambitions. To those of you who may consider these past 4 years to be the best years of your lives, I congratulate you on making the most out of your high school experience. To those of you who may consider these past few years to maybe not be the best, I applaud you for refusing to give up. To everyone, a reminder that things will be different, and instead of dreading this fact, take advantage of it. Now is the time to shed off old grudges, feuds, and regrets, and reinvent yourselves to be the people that you've always dreamed of becoming. We've all come a long way, and we all have further still to go. So turn your beautiful faces towards what's ahead, class of 2016. Relish in your successes, glean all that you can from your failures. Hold the good memories close to your hearts, and release the bad ones to the wind. Do not be afraid of the things you can't foresee. Instead, welcome change, welcome trials, welcome the unexpected, for these are the things that forge good character and good citizens. Know that you are capable of incredible deeds, for, as Virgil said, possunt quia posse videnter. They can do it because they think they can do it. Thank you and good luck.
Our next speaker is Student Council Representative Garrett Sherman, presenting the student address.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here to share this momentous day for the graduating class of 2016. In one way or another, every single person under this tent has supported and/or influenced at least one of the 110 members of this class. On behalf of the entire class, thank you for your continued support. If there's one thing my parents have taught me growing up, it's that I need to plan ahead. No matter if I'm packing for a vacation, having friends over the house, studying for an exam, applying to college, you name it. My parents instilled in me that it was important to plan for the worst and hope for the best, which always means having a plan B. Ironically enough, planning for any possible scenario has been the name of the game for the class of 2016. In just 4 short years, this entire graduating class has learned to roll with the punches, accept a challenge, and overcome adversity. In short, this graduating class is versatile, resilient, and strong. Whenever Plan A went wrong, each and every one of us had the ability to come back with and implement a Plan B, which often yielded the same or better results than Plan A. Let's take a look at some of our class's Plan Bs. Plan A for most of us was probably to graduate as one among 30 or so Blue Devils at Crowell Road, or one among 70 or so Rough Riders in front of the dilapidated yet beloved white church-looking building on Oak Street. Plan B, however, was imposed on all of us, requiring us to unify and cultivate a new sense of community and establish our own traditions and relationships. Admit it, Chatham kids, we Rough Riders weren't as bad as you thought. Hopefully, the class of 2016 laid the groundwork for our underclassmen to enjoy new traditions, like the convocation night, where we raised over $34,000 in scholarship money, which was given to our class, and which, by the way, shortened today's ceremony by a good 45 minutes. You're welcome. For the football team, Plan A was to create a Friday Night Lights mentality around the school, to get hundreds in attendance to every game at our beautiful new field, and possibly to establish a winning record by our senior year. Well, that didn't happen. But I'm pretty damn proud of our Plan B. We transformed a group of less than 25 kids with only 7 wins over 4 years into a team 50 players strong, who stood together through more important life lessons than how many games we won, like standing by our brother Gunnar when he lost his grandfather and Cody when he lost his mom. When the girls' golf team learned that future Division I collegiate golfer Jen Kime would be coming to Monomoy, I'm certain Plan A was to establish itself immediately as the best team on Cape Cod and statewide. Plan B, however, was simply to recognize that such success would take some patience and a little time, as the team went from being winless in 2013 to being crowned South Sectional champions just a week ago. Congratulations, girls. In March, the Addams family's Cast A plan was, of course, to have a successful show with no bumps in the road. However, when tragedy struck the family of our devoted director, Miss Donovan, Plan B sprang into action. But with the hard work of our interim director, Charlie Clute, musical director, Miss Richard, and behind-the-scenes theater superstar, Grace Fernandez, we were able to put on a successful show in honor of Miss Donovan and her family. Just a few weeks ago, the seniors' Plan A for our senior prank was an elaborate scavenger hunt for the students and staff at Monomoy. Unfortunately, under the strict new guidelines established, thanks to my brother's class of 2014, our Plan A was rejected. Fortunately, we were able to think on our feet and conjure up a Plan B. You have to admit it, Drew. You did at least kind of enjoy turning the parking lot into a tailgating party, right? For our esteemed Democrats sitting behind me, Ashley, I think your Plan A was to feel the burn. Or, just in case we have some Republicans in our midst, your Plan A might be, well, actually, I'm not quite sure what your Plan A is. Charlie, since it looks like we'll all need a Plan B come November, now's your chance to convince everyone here to become a libertarian. As for what we're doing when we leave today, some of us may be implementing our Plan A, going to the college of our choice, or taking some time to figure out what our next step will be. And I applaud my classmates who are doing so. But for many of us who are working off our Plan B, do not despair. If high school has taught us one thing, it's that Plan B is okay, and sometimes even better than Plan A. Katie, I know it will be tough for you, but you have to believe me when I say this. Harvard isn't too bad of a Plan B. In hindsight, as annoying as my mother was when she made me plan everything, I have to admit that she was right to do so, because I would much rather live out my Plan B, C, or D before being stuck with no plan at all. Not to sound cliche, but I truly want all of you, my classmates, to remember that life will throw twists and turns at you, but your success will be measured by how you're able to come back and come up with a Plan B. Maybe you're not going to your first choice college. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted. Maybe you didn't graduate with the same friends you had when you began high school. Maybe you don't know just yet what you're going to do when you leave this tent. In the end, however, all that matters is how you develop your Plan B and even a Plan C if needed. The class of 2016 is strong and resilient, and without a doubt, we are one class who can make Plan B seem like it was the original plan all along. Take this speech, for example. The only reason I'm reading it in the first place is because Mr. Burkhead rejected my first one. That one was funnier and a little bit racy, but I guess this one is more appropriate. Congratulations again, classmates, and in the words of my mother, let us bask in the glory of this red letter day.
Please join me in welcoming Culture Committee Representative Robert Smeltzer to the stage.
No laughing, Lane. As a side note, thank you. Kristen, I will be using that Virgil quote for my next Stoicism project. Principal Burkhead suggested in one of our Culture Committee meetings that we should establish new traditions for our school. My colleague, Mr. Sopel, mentioned the idea of starting an Ad Lucem Award, an award that would be based on what our district motto signifies. Mrs. Forte Doyle remarked on what the symbolism of a lighthouse represents, shining its light to bring mariners to safety, or in our case, leading our youth to higher levels of learning and character. As we all know so well, the lighthouse is the perfect symbol to convey the mission of why we are here today. To be that beacon, that light, that not only guides and helps students on their journey, but also to be that safe harbor standing firm against the raging storms and difficulties that life sometimes brings to all of us. In short, that's how the Ad Lucem Award originated. We hope that this award reflects the essence of who we are as a school and a community. Before presenting the award, I would like to also thank colleagues Betsy Simmons, Quan Faith, Lisa Forte Doyle, and students Garrett Sherman and Samantha Moran for their help with selecting the criteria and collecting the data for this award. And a big thanks goes to Mr. Houston for his efforts promoting Ad Lucem as a motto for our district. And my final thank you has to go to my daughter, Erin, for selecting the motto when one day I came home from school and I had heard from Mr. Houston that the school committee was thinking about having a lighthouse as a symbol for the district. And I immediately said to my daughter, here are some books for Latin quotes, and I'd like you to look through there to see if you could find something that would represent our district. And sure enough, after about 20 or 30 minutes, she said, what about Ad Lucem? And I said, that's perfect. And as you know, the rest is history. Okay, now I want you to know that the award recipients were selected by students, faculty, and staff, and were based upon the following criteria. A positive role model that demonstrates integrity, compassion, and empathy, outstanding commitment and service to the school, an infectious sense of school spirit that motivates others to get involved, consistently kind and encouraging to fellow students and staff, and sets high standards of leadership. We chose 2 students, 1 faculty member, and 1 support staff. The first award goes to staff member Holly Thing. Our next award goes to teacher Kelly Terenzi. All right, now the drum roll. Just kidding. The first student award we're going to give to Matthew Hall. And Matthew, I want to assure you it had nothing to do with getting a job for my son on the fishing boat. And the last award is going to go to Molly Doncaster.
my hand. Hombre say oh, hombre tell you to run. And nobody see, nobody run.
Well, pick me up with golden hands. Hombre say oh, hombre tell you to run. Nobody see, nobody run.
Well, I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will, and we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand. And we will run, we will, and we will crawl.
Send me on my way. 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 Send me on my way.
I would like to reach out my hand. Hombre say oh, hombre tell you to run. Nobody see, nobody run.
Well, pick me up with golden hand. Hombre say oh, hombre tell you to run. Nobody see, nobody run. Well, I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand. We will run, we will crawl.
Send me on my way. 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 Send me on my way.
On my way. I would like to hold my little hand, and we will run, we will crawl, we will. I would like to hold my little hand, and we will run, we will crawl.
Send me on my way. Send me on my way. Send me on my way. On my way. Send me on my way. Send me on my way.
Tell you to run, and nobody see, nobody run.
Please welcome Superintendent Scott Carpenter with the Superintendent's Address.
Good afternoon. Today we are assembled here, thankfully under a tent, prepared for whatever Mother Nature might deal us. And After last year with bright, sunny, hot June weather, I'll actually take today. It may not be bright and sunny, but life doesn't always give you sunshine and rainbows. Life often throws you the unexpected. What's most important is that we make the best of each situation we're presented. When this graduating class was in middle school, little did they know that their high school experience would be one of such pronounced change. I remember 3 years ago sitting at Chatham Middle High School auditorium with the Chatham contingent of this class of 2016, and we were talking about their wants and worries about this new venture called regionalization. Each of you could have perseverated on the uncertainty of change, but instead you saw sunshine and the possibilities within the new opportunities to come. Life is unpredictable. There may be storm clouds now and then, but it can't rain forever. Roll with it and make the best of it. And, as Garrett Sherman said, have a plan B. It's important. This time yesterday, I was getting emails and phone calls from Principal Burkhead telling me that the fancy blue diploma holders, which have been repeatedly delayed by our vendor and were supposed to arrive sometime before last week, hadn't arrived yet, and that when they did arrive yesterday afternoon, they arrived with a misspelling. Yes, although we didn't intend to have the town's name on it, somebody, and this is a Florida company, somebody must have been from Massachusetts and said, well, what town are they from? Harwich. So there was no R in the word Harwich. So clearly we weren't going to give everybody a blue a blue graduation thing that said Harwich on it, although it would be priceless. Instead, we had to look at a plan B. While this was all going on, my phone was ringing and my Fitbit on my wrist that's synced to my phone was vibrating like crazy, and I was dealing with my own little issue. I was a good 10 miles plus out. I couldn't see Chatham Light. I, at the time, was wanting to go towards the light. So I was out fishing, literally standing knee-deep in water in my boat. Yes, the diploma covers did have a misspelling, but Mr. Burkhead and his assistant, Miss Kelly, adapted. The vendor went and opened up on the weekend. They didn't plan on it, but they opened up on the weekend. They printed during the night. Our diplomas, or the diploma cases, got on an airplane and took an airplane ride this morning. A courier got them here just a little over an hour ago, it seems. I believe Miss Kelly got the courier to help put the diplomas in the blue holders. And here we are. Yes, it appeared that my boat was sinking, but clearly I wasn't lost at sea yesterday. Whatever the challenge is, don't panic. Roll up your sleeves and get prepared to get a little bit dirty if you need. Face adversity, both the challenges of the moment and those to come, with tenacity and the knowledge that you've gained here and in life. Mr. Burkhead and his staff adapted. I made repairs at sea. And 4 hours later, I even bumped into Miss Howe out there in Chatham Harbor. Clearly, I had a good time for the rest of the day on the water, regardless of what life was dealing me at the moment. You may not have gotten into the college of your first choice. Your parents may have invited 50 guests to your house this afternoon, and you don't have a large tent, and we don't know what's going to happen with the weather. You may hear several no's when seeking a job, but trust within each rejection or each rainout is a new opportunity. Make the best of each. It looks like rain now, but it won't last forever. Sunny days are ahead, and on special occasion, there will be rainbows. Despite the uncertainty of today's weather, metaphorically speaking, there's clearly a rainbow under this tent. Congratulations, class of 2016.
Our next speaker is Stephen B. Duvall with the School Committee Chairman Address.
Good afternoon, class of 2016, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Burkhead, faculty, parents, relatives, students, and friends. What an honor it is to be here today to take part in this graduation ceremony for an extraordinary group of young men and women. You are a great example of why the 8 of us on the school committee volunteer all the time that we put in. To see the fruit of our labors is a fabulous thing. You as a class have done some amazing things during your school careers, from excellence in academics, hard work put in on the athletic fields, amazing visual and performing arts presentation, as we just saw, but most of all, being genuinely good all-around people who care for all of your fellow students. You are to be commended. I'd like to point out that you had some help along the way to making these accomplishments. The help comes in the form of your parents and all the times they got you where you needed to be on time. Their help, and some say nagging, at an early age to do your homework and instilling the work ethic. The teachers that gave the extra help when you didn't quite get the assignment. The coach who went over and above and beyond to help you reach your potential. Your music teacher who instilled in you that if you practice just a little bit more, your accomplishments will be that much greater. Your art teacher who saw your potential even though you didn't. And believe it or not, the help and guidance that you gave each other. These are the people who taught you life's little lessons that you learn on the go. They have instilled in you the drive to succeed. I ask that as you go into the next phase of your lives, as you're faced with making life's choices, that you remember that these amazing people have what they've instilled in you. I'll tell you that at my age, I still use it all the time. One more request. I know today is all about celebrating your accomplishments, but say thank you to your parents for all that they've done to get you where you are. Remember, they're your best asset in accomplishing all your future successes. Congratulations to you and the best of luck in whatever you choose to do in the next phase of your life.
Our class valedictorian, Katie Barr, will now make her address.
Hi again, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Brown. On behalf of the entire class of 2016, I would like to thank you all for coming to this year's graduation ceremony. In particular, I would like to thank all the parents, coaches, administrators, counselors, teachers, friends, and family members who have supported us along the way. I am incredibly honored to have the opportunity to speak to you today, and I would like to extend a personal thank you to all the individuals who have helped me get to this point. My parents and my beautiful sister, Cheska. I could not have done it without your support. the rest of my family, Mimi, Poppy, Linda, Matt, and a special shout out to my cousin Jason. I really could not have done it without you. All of my teachers, in particular Mrs. Terenzi, Miss Pleece, Madame, Mrs. Levangi, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Burns, and many, many more. My friends, my coaches, really everyone in my life, thank you for putting up with me all of these years. I've been racking my brain to think of a story that somehow summed up our time together as the Monomoy class of 2016. Some of us have known each other for practically our whole lives, since preschool or even before. And some of us are still just getting to know each other, brought together by the school where we all sit today. So finding that one perfect anecdote that might draw a shared memory, a smile, or even a tear has been tough. Then I realized that there isn't just one or two stories to tell. In just a few years of being together, we've lived a whole library's worth of stories. Just to name a few, we've teed off as South Sectional champions and raced at state meets. We've booted, checked, kicked, lobbed, and cheered our teams on to wins, draws, and yes, many hard-fought defeats. Girls basketball went on to be league champions, and our own Jen Kime is going to play Division I golf. All along the Sandy Peninsula, and over the bridge too, we have joined together, gotten involved, and made an impact. We have hosted Cape-wide Special Olympics, raised our voices against atrocities in Washington, D.C., run blood drives, raised funds, and reached out to help in 100 different ways. And then there's Garrett, who showed us all up by riding a 100-mile bike ride to support Best Buddies just yesterday. That kind of thing, that's Monomoy. We've made music from all Cape to all states and created regionally recognized works of visual art. We've had the joy of performing, staging, and in my case, watching amazing student-produced musicals and plays. And it is our class that gave the school the gift of starting the day with a smile, thanks to Miranda on the video announcements. I am not trying to suggest we have all had this perfect high school experience. It's not been an easy process to merge two schools, which means two student bodies, two administrations, two faculties, and two communities. And it hasn't always been easy to be part of that process. But we did it. We came together, and together we have become the musicians, artists, athletes, intellects, activists, entrepreneurs, and leaders of the next generation. As Chatham, as Harwich, and then united as Monomoy, we have made mistakes, learned lessons, cheered each other on, had each other's backs, and explored opportunities that has given us the strongest possible foundation for whatever life has in store. I feel confident that we will all look back and appreciate the experience of being a shark. So before it is too late and we all go our separate ways, let's take this time to reflect and appreciate where we have gone to school and where we have grown up. Sure, we all complain, sometimes loudly and often, but really, in what other high school can you text your teachers at night and on the weekends if you need help or guidance? At what other high school can you walk into the cafeteria at lunch to find music playing for you while you eat? What other community loves their students so much that it will supply nearly $350,000 of scholarship money to a class of just 110 kids? Look around you. The people here today, this community, has made us who we are. It has caught us when we've fallen. It has celebrated our success. It has held us close. This safety net of our family and friends, teachers and coaches, mentors and advisors, it is what allows us now to leave high school, to take risks, and to find our own way. As we navigate through the rest of our lives, we must remember this power of community. We shouldn't, in fact, we cannot go it alone. No matter where we go or what we do, we must not be afraid to reach out and open our hearts to new people so they will become our people. We must embrace new communities so they will become our communities to challenge us and inspire us. In essence, wherever we are, we will have to do what it takes to create our own Chathams, our own Harwiches, and our own Monomoys, because that is what has brought us this far. No one is here today because they did it on their own. We are all where we are because someone reached out their hand to pick us up or to push us ahead. I know some of you may be so checked out and ready to move on you stopped listening to this speech 5 minutes ago. I know of others who feel scared and want to hold on to high school for as long as possible. Then there are those of us who feel so excited to go, but who will be surprised by a wave of anxiety and sentimentality when the time comes to actually leave. However, and wherever our goodbyes take place, the best way we graduates can show our gratitude to the amazing community here today is to make the most of the opportunities we've been given. To quote a caption I came across on Lane Kotowski's Instagram, we are so lucky to have had something that makes saying goodbye so hard. So, class of 2016, could you please join me in showing our appreciation to everyone here who has made this place so special? Thank you very much.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for, our 2016 graduates. Katrina Grace Barr. Molly Elizabeth Doncaster. Kristen Elizabeth Siegel. Miranda Rose Treble. Garrett Royce Sherman. Grace Abigail Fernandez. Sarah Jane Simpson. Jacqueline Sabina Alcocer. Charles Floyd Amaker III. Jade Anthony Anderson. Rose Anderson. Caroline May Adderstrom. Ashley Taylor Benson. Victoria Rose Bassett. John Timothy Blute, Jr. Dylan Thomas Bryda. Olivia Ann Burke. Austin Kyle Buttrick. Marissa Marie Cabito. Kyle William Cagnina, presented by his mother, Laureen Garenti. Devin Rose Callahan. Weavener Celine. Jean MacArthur Sharon. Patrick Allen Condelli. Kayla Sally Corez. Kylie Elizabeth de Oliveira. Nicholas Robert Di Lorenzo. Evan Paul Eldridge. Anastasia Ruth Elmendorf. Ambioris Encarnacion. Akira Adoba Forrester. Marcus Lloyd Frisbee. Amanda Antoinette Gale. Cameron James Ganella. Grace Gorman. Cassandra Ann Hall. Matthew Albert Hall. Brandon Miles Hamilton. Nicholas Terrell Hardaway. Paige Avery Harrington. Kamoy Jermaine Houghton. Taylor Mackenzie Home. James Edmund Holt. Gabrielle Joy Hurley. Cameron Joseph Jackson. Christopher Bradford Jakes. Jennifer Marie Kime. Madison Victoria Kelly, presented by her mother, Jody Kelly. Charles Amon Dykins Kiernan. Max Arthur Kiersis.
Lane Elizabeth Ann Katoski. Megan Nicole L'Esperance. Regine Marley L'Espinasse. Dakota James Liska. Andrew Stephen Locke. Emily Majeska Lyford. Sarah Jane McCaskill, presented by her father, Michael McCaskill. Haley Jeanette Maycumber. Ariana Darling Mayer. Aris Lynn Mayer. Miriam Michael Masad, presented by her brother Charbel Masad. Samuel Paul McCormack. Edward Shaughnessy McGadden. Tucker Lewis McLean, presented by Stephen Duvall. Connor Neil Meehan. Annalee Mylan, presented by her sister, Liberty Mylan. Samantha Ann Minshall. Laura Shang Mitchell, presented by her mother, Jan Mitchell. Samantha Ann Morand. Keelan Liam Mullen. Matthew Emery Neeser. Nicholas Stephen Norcott. Argenis Nunez. Margaret Rose O'Donnell. Sarah Elizabeth Osborne. Michael Anthony Pandicio. Samantha May Peckham. Kaylee Elizabeth Pellegrino. Alex Reginald Pierre. Matthew Scott Pomoka, presented by his grandfather, Ed Jaworski. Sydney Marie Potter. Erin Elizabeth Prescott. Haley Brookfield Ray. Kane Michael Vincent Reese. James Gunnar Reinwald. Taylor Cheyenne Schaub. Andrew James Senator. Nicholas Thomas Simpkins. Alyssa Mary Megan Smith. Hannah Patricia Smith. Mario Francis Stark. Brianna Michelle Stebbins. Hannah Grace Thatcher. Cameron Michael Thibault. Dennis Arthur Townsend Jr. John Robert Vaginas, presented by his mother, Kathy Vaginas. Jasmine Melissa Vergara Allman. Cameron Patrick Webster. Dean Ennis Wheeler. Jaden Brandon Whitehead. Kyle David Wisniewski. Brooke Lindsay Wrightington.
Molly Doncaster will now make the President's Address.
All right, I'm not the best speaker, so you gotta bear with me here. And just for Mrs. Prescott, I promise to keep this one short and sweet. All right, I know it's the oldest saying in the book, but I seriously can't believe how fast these 4 years have gone by. It's crazy to think that we've only been together for the past 2 years because it feels like we've known each other forever. For me, writing the speech was really hard because I was waiting for that one thing that really represented high school to jump out at me, but it never did. I was waiting and waiting. I was asking teachers, Mr. Martin, nothing came. And I realized there was no way that I could put these past 4 years into one little story because it wouldn't do these past 4 years justice. I thought our class was especially lucky because we were able to have the best of both worlds and do 2 years at either Harwich or Chatham and then 2 years at Monomoy. It was a big step up for our Harwich kids going from a school that had garbage cans in the middle of the hallway when it would rain to catch the leaks to a school where we got to see the morning announcements every morning and they live streamed the graduation. I know our lives are only just beginning now, but I can't help to think how it gets much better than our days in high school. We come to this beautiful school every day with our best friends to do sports, do clubs, musicals, the plays, we do it all. And freshman and sophomore year, freshman through senior year, I remember sitting in class and there was always those kids that would, oh, I can't wait to get out of here, I can't wait to graduate, just waiting for a time to fly. And I always thought they had it all wrong. There's a quote that reads, one day you're 17 and you're planning for someday. And then quietly, without ever really noticing, someday is today, and then someday is yesterday, and this is your life. To me, this quote means to live in the moment and be present in everything that you do, and to be grateful for what you have. If I can offer one piece of advice to my fellow graduates, because I know how much you all want it, is to not wish these days away. I know in 10, 20, or 30 years, we're all gonna look back on these days wanting to do it all over again. I'm so grateful that we were able to grow up in towns and go to schools where we were able to be whoever we wanted to be in an environment where we felt safe, supported, and comfortable. This school is truly a home away from home. Congratulations, 2016, we did it. I may be jumping the gun here a little bit, but is it too early to start planning the reunions? No? No? Thank you.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. Small cafe, the park, across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut trees, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the day is new, I'll be looking at the moon, and I'll be looking at the moon, and all I'll see is you.
Grace Fernandez will now present our class gift.
So you're gonna have to pardon my appearance because Jasmine made me cry the first time I heard her sing in 3rd grade, so of course today it was a little bit more. So our class is really special and decided that we would do a mural for our class gift, which I have already used this word today, I think is the coolest thing ever. So it's over there, I don't know if you all can see it, but that's our class gift from class 2016. So we just wanted to include a lot of the things that we think make this school special, where we've grown up on the water, and just music has been such an important part to so many students here. There's a lot of stuff in it, a lot of stuff to look at that I'm not going to explain. The girls who designed it with me were Taylor Schaub, Sam Peckham, and Cassie Hall, and it was awesome to have their help. And then everyone who came and helped me paint it, I can't name you all because a lot of you came and helped me. That was really awesome. So thank you so much. That's our class gift.
Please welcome Student Committee Representative Lane Katoski.
I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so, hi. So, all of my classmates and I are going to be receiving a rose as we leave the stage. And so these flowers are a meaningful way to say thank you to our friends and family. They represent the love and support we have received from those who have touched all of our lives. And just to close, as Rose Kennedy once said, life is not a matter of milestones, but of moments. And this rose that we will give to the person of our choosing honors those that have made those moments so special for all of us. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Superintendent Scott Carpenter to officially accept the class.
Ladies and gentlemen gathered here, I am proud to present to you the Monomoy Regional High School class of 2016. I certify that each member of the class has met the requirements of Monomoy Regional High School and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and therefore are worthy recipients of a Monomoy Regional High School diploma. Congratulations, class of 2016.
better say it right now, 'cause you don't have another day. 'Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound, and I keep thinking of that night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And there was me and you, and then we got real blue. Stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves, thinking life's not fair. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will our jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with pretend? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Friends forever. Will we think about tomorrow like we think about now? Can we survive it out there? Can we make it somehow? I guess I thought that this would never end, and suddenly it's like we're women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave?